the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Hello and welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. Of course, the circumstances just kind of keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and frustrating and all of that, especially locally in the Twin Cities, but nationwide. It's a nationwide thing. I mean, protest this, protest that. ICE kind of trying to do their job. Some of the agents, some of the officers, whatever, being probably young, experienced, and maybe a little overzealous. Yeah, and of course the news media loves to emphasize on that, other than maybe some of the reaction from regular people or some of the reaction from some of the, illegal immigrants and such. And the fact that, well, a lot of them are criminals, that they're actually going after. It's not necessarily just illegal only. It's illegal immigrants that have criminal records that we need to absolutely get rid of because of, their child rapists and such. Lots of cases that are out there and have been out there. But the reaction here locally in the Twin Cities, the state of Minnesota, is to a point of insanity. It's too much. It's gone way too far, and it's never going to stop. You have Jacob Fry telling ICE to get the bleep out of Minneapolis or whatever. You're not welcome here, stuff like that. And all that really accomplishes at the end of the day, and Tim Walz with his big mouth as well, all that really accomplishes is you're just inciting the crowd. People like Keith Ellison, who's a natural born rabble rouser. That's who he's always been. That's who he'll always be. It's too much. It is way too much. And the fact that the news is basically reporting half of the story with things that have happening, like now recently, this afternoon, a shooting from an ICE agent. And the conversation is that, all you're hearing is that, ICE has shot another person. ICE has shot another person. And that's all you're hearing from most of the mainstream media, when what's been out there is that this person was armed and they were actually going to attack the ICE agent, and that's why they were shot. It's like you're giving us half of the story, the CNNs and such. See, recently my Facebook account was hacked, my main Facebook account, and it's still hacked. I still can't get into it, my main one. So I created a new regular Facebook account, Joey Awajan, dressed in a purple shirt and a Viking hat. So just in case you're somebody that's, fairly close to me that's listening and wondering where the heck my Facebook account is or what's going on, like somebody trying to sell cars on my Facebook account, is Joey selling cars at crazy prices? No, I have no car to sell you. I have a car that I need to drive, and that's it. I'm not selling cars. So that's another topic I could get into here as well. But no, see, creating a new account, all the stuff that I had turned off and did not want to hear from, like the CNNs and such, are back, and that's exactly what they're reporting. ICE shoots another person, basically, in Minneapolis. ICE shoots another person in Minneapolis. It happened again. Give us some details, please. Give us some details about the story. I don't think they're walking around just shooting people because, I disagree, blah, blah, blah. No, this person tried to attack the ICE agent, and the person was shot. And that's that's what we're hearing. I am not a news reporter, but that's what's coming out as to what really truly happened here in the shooting that took place this particular afternoon. Again, the Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, people like that, and of course Keith Ellison locally here. All these people are local. Ilhan Omar. All they're really accomplishing is riling people up more and more and more and more and more. And many years ago, when Keith Ellison, when I first encountered Keith Ellison, now it was at a distance, but we met eye to eye, boy, and it was like enemy and enemy. It was like, only one of us is going to be standing one day, buddy. It was kind of like that. And it was during the war protest way back in 2003 when Bush and the U.S. troops invaded Iraq. Do I agree with the war now? No. It was a mistake. It was a terrible mistake. All that truly did was create a supersized Iran. But the whole point of that protest had nothing to do with anything there. It was simply protesting anything a conservative does. It's a Republican going to war with Iraq. If it was Bill Clinton doing it, would there be a protest? No. Barack Obama? Nope. Hillary Clinton? Nah. But it was George W. Bush, just because he had an R next to his name. Now, George W. Bush, since then, has turned out to be about as Democrat as Bill Clinton. He might as well be the same thing. They're basically twins, Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Just Bush, well, both of them have a Southern accent. Bush might have a tiny bit more conservative views on certain issues like gay marriage and such, but you're not really hearing about that anymore. But the whole thing with Keith Ellison at the time, all I did was simply hold up the paper that said the word war. Basically like, yeah, I'm for it. I mean, at the time I was for it because I thought that we needed to get Saddam Hussein out of power because he was, causing trouble there and potentially causing much more trouble. And at the time, some of us thought he may have been involved in 9/11. Since then, no. No. So my hands raised, I confess. Yes. I was wrong supporting that war in hindsight. But again, the only reason they were protesting was because it was a Republican going to war. If it was Clinton, like I just said, they wouldn't have done any protest. It would have not happened. It would have not happened. Believe me, Keith Ellison certainly wouldn't have been there. But all I did was hold up the paper saying the word war in basically like, I support what's happening. Keith Ellison was, walking down the street. I was up in my parents' salon on the second floor from the window, right? Keith Ellison kind of turns his head a little bit. Yeah, and I know it's him because I know his face. I didn't know him at the time, but if you see him again later, that was him. And you could tell he was one of the leaders out there in that rabble-rousing protest. He kind of turned his head and then did a double take like, oh, look at this guy. Ha ha. Come, all of you, come. He wanted to show me up and how, look at all of us. Look at all of us. It's all of us against you. Like the whole majority rules and all that stuff. Majority rules is complete BS. You know why? Here's a fact. Here's something. Just because there is a majority vote on something, it doesn't mean they're right. Just because 20 people want this and 10 people want that, it doesn't mean the 20 people are right. It doesn't. It just means 20 people want it. This and that. And that's the game these Democrats play. These leftists, they're not Democrats. They're much worse. They're fascist. They're liberal fascist, if you could come up with that word. Go ahead and laugh at me for saying that. No, there is a possibility that there's such thing as a liberal fascist. It's not about right and left with fascist. It's about you agree with me or I do whatever I can to destroy you, basically. That's what a fascist is. I hate you for disagreeing with me, and I'm going to, intimidate you into my views. And that's pretty much what they were trying to do. And I could just feel my heart pounding. I still remember that day. But the whole fact of the matter is, all these protesters coming out like, look at all of us in solidarity. That doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't mean you're right. Just because there's a lot of you, it doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't. Back years ago, I got in an argument with somebody, even something as simple as the greatest video game of all time. Like it was getting voted Super Mario 64. And it's like, oh, well, look at the majority. The majority, everybody voted for it. Yeah, it's the greatest game ever because all these people voted for it. And the person was just being a complete jerk about it. And it's like, I kept trying to tell him, just because it's getting voted the greatest, it doesn't mean it is. Settle down, man. Nowadays, would people vote that as the greatest game of all time? Super Mario 64? Who gives a crap about that? People are waking up and seeing something like a Final Fantasy VI is the greatest game of all time. Like, a lot of people are saying that now. Again, the number doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, you look at it, you play it, and it's a lot deeper game than Super Mario 64. So, whatever. It's always the comeback, too. Like, Pat the NES Punk was showing off at my friend Paul years ago. It was showing off at him like, Paul, you're in the minority. Paul, you're in the minority. And he's just showing off like, just because, again, and I came back to him and said, just because you're in the minority, it doesn't mean you're right, buddy. Of course, he didn't respond. He completely ignored me. And the conversation's over now. Yeah, because somebody came up to you and like put you in your place, you little punk. Yeah, that's why you're called the NES Punk, because you are a punk, Pat. Obviously, he's a flaming liberal. Pat, the NES Punk, is a flaming liberal. He would reveal that in his podcast that would come out, global warming, this and that. Flaming liberal. And I told him I'm not interested, basically. I wouldn't listen to that if you paid me. Where people pay to listen to podcasts in this day and age. The whole, what do they call that thing? Paywall. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cute and everything. I just encourage people, if you want to donate, go for it. Thank you. I appreciate it. If not, I mean, it's up to you. It's your choice. That type of thing. If you want to, it is what it is. If you want to donate, it's fine. There is a link in the show description. Paywall, like getting people to pay to get extra content, and half of the time there really isn't any extra content, or literally denying listeners like half of your shows because you have to pay if you want to actually listen to all of them. You only get half, and you get like a little dinky little dinky preview of the show, like say it's an hour and a half show, whatever, like the confessional, something like that. You get about 20 minutes of it just to kind of tease you, and then you have to pay now, and it's just like, okay, that's great. Yeah, it is what it is. If people do that, that's fine. That's up to them. As of right now, I can't see myself even. I bet nobody'd subscribe anyway. That type of thing. Let's be honest. Freedom of thought's not real big. Same with Mysterious Adventures. It's growing. It's growing, and there's hope for it, but it's not anywhere near a paywall or anything like that. Patreon, all that kind of stuff. If I did it, it would be just like, I don't even know. We'll see. We'll see if that day ever comes. It's just, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, if it does, it does, but I don't know. Again, we'll get off of that. This show should be free no matter what, and if you want to donate, that's an option. It's optional. If you don't, that's totally cool. It's America, freedom of thought, freedom of wallet, freedom of donation, freedom of. Yes. And yes, these idiot protesters do have a freedom of speech. Just like people talking about how, yes, we're all standing in solidarity. These little clips on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Like Facebook is Reels, like the short ones. Instagram, it's and TikTok, it's TikTok. You get these shorts, they're like short videos that might also be on YouTube. The shorts. And they're doing their little rants about this and that, and the agents, they shot another person, another shooting from an ICE agent, they shot another person, rather than really getting into true details, which is complete crap, just to rile people up. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's impossible to support these kind of people, in my opinion. But like I was saying, they have the right to their opinion. This is the point I was trying to get to, as I was losing myself here. I was like, what was I going to say again? The point is, everybody has an opinion. But what's also great? You don't have to listen to him. That's the best thing Dennis Green, former Vikings coach, ever said. The guy made an ass of himself on a regular basis, including accusing the ownership of the Minnesota Vikings of racism years ago, just because, dude, you lost 5 playoff games in a row. If they fire you, they have every right to, because you're not even getting out of the first round of the playoffs. I mean, that's racism? Get out of here, man. But he did say that one statement. What's great about America, everybody has an opinion. You know what I mean? But what's also great? You don't have to listen to him, and that's the great part. Same thing. And I could come back to Dennis Green and say the same. We don't have to listen to you, and I don't have to listen to all these clips and all that. All you got to do is say, hide reel, I'm not interested in this. Or I don't like the I don't like the creator, And no, I don't. If it's some flaming liberal, of course I don't like the creator. Yuck. Go away. But it's extremely frustrating. Even today, you're looking forward to see the Wolves hopefully beat the Golden State Warriors again. Minnesota Timberwolves locally here, depending on wherever you're from. But, and yes, that got postponed because, oh goody, we're all standing in solidarity. And all the people calling into work yesterday because they're playing the game like it's too cold, but in reality they're playing the stupid game like we're all standing in solidarity with this anti-ICE movement, which I think is accomplishing nothing. Yep, and there it is. DHS, shooting victim was armed with a gun. Yep, so there it is. And, of course, they're going to say that DHS is a bunch of liars. So, no, I think you guys are a bunch of liars. The CNN reporters and all these other random people that are who are you again? These are these random people posting these short videos saying, oh, DHS is just a bunch of liars and this and that. But, nope, there was a gun. There was a gun. They had a gun, and they were threatening the agent. Okay, with all of that said, do I agree with everything President Trump has been doing? No. How can I? How can I agree with every single thing President Trump has been doing? That's impossible. This whole Greenland thing, what's the point? I mean, yeah, let's take Greenland. Why? I don't know. Does it really matter? Greenland? I mean, Greenland? Like we're already in Greenland right now, weather-wise. I just that one. I don't know. The whole Gulf of America thing. I remember thinking like, you just got elected you just got sworn in 5 minutes ago, and you're talking about Gulf of America. Yeah, that was in his opening speech there, his inauguration speech. You just got inaugurated, and you're talking about Gulf of America. I remember thinking like, oh, why'd you do that? Why? Is it a big deal? Is it offensive? No. But it gives fuel to the wrong people. It gives fuel to the fire. These frickin' nut jobs everywhere in Minneapolis, Chicago, wherever, but especially Minneapolis. I mean, we're literally in the epicenter of stupidity here in the Twin Cities, and particularly Minneapolis. I am humiliated living in this place. Thankfully, I don't live in the actual city of Minneapolis. I live next door to it, just west of it, Golden Valley, Minnesota, if you happen to be curious where that is. Just west of it. It's a next-door neighbor, and it's a complete joke. We're in the epicenter here in the Twin Cities. I can't believe it, and I hate saying it. Many, many years ago, Mr. George Washington Carver talked about, he had a prophecy about how a great revival that will change America, basically, will start in Minneapolis and will go down the Mississippi River. It'll kind of, get a lot of people saved and such. Right now, boy, oh boy, I mean, that's going to literally take divine intervention because Minneapolis feels like it's a complete polar opposite. It is a demonic revival. That's what I see right now. Now, all we can do as Christians, born again Christians, is pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. That's all we can do. Because, again, this whole conversation about how there's going to be this great revival where so many people are going to be saved going down the Mississippi River is starting in Minneapolis. Just looking at this, like I'm seeing live images and such right now in the background. Obviously, the sound's off. And I don't know. Again, it's going to take divine intervention. It's like only God can fix this. This is, it's horrifying. It's horrifying to look at. These people hate this country. These people hate this president. But no, they hate the country. And they've been indoctrinated into this attitude since, we have a constitution, not a king. Yeah, you have a constitution and a president. He isn't a king. But no, they've been indoctrinated into hating this country pretty much from the womb. A lot of these people, going back to the baby boomer generation at the very least, like 60s and beyond. These people's parents, these people's grandparents, and now you get down to like the millennial, Gen Z, and such. They're completely indoctrinated in this nonsense. Also being influenced by friends at work. Like maybe you had conservative views, and now all of a sudden you're getting influenced by people at work. Like, why listen to these people? You know their point of view. I just stay away from them. Yeah, bleep I with a big F word. Real classy there. No human is illegal. on God's land. I mean, you could barely see how it's written. It's all written so closely together, you could barely read it. But, this whole no human is illegal, like people can just break the law, though. So I could just go rob Target or Byerly's down the street here. Byerly's, Target's not close to me, but Byerly's is. I could just go there, rob it. It's not illegal. It's God's land, right? What a bunch of crap. Believe your eyes, not the lies. Yeah, that's it's it's accurate, but unfortunately, you're on the wrong side on that one, friend. You are. Yep, we have a constitution. Yeah, I saw that 15 times. So I'm not impressed by these people at all. Like, go ahead, freeze your butts off and miss work and act like a jerk. There you go. Miss work, act like a jerk. That's a good one, I guess. It's a good rhyme for what's going on. Not on Saturday, I know, but I mean, Friday, yeah, like the amount of call-ins to work was embarrassing. Embarrassing. I don't know, like, do you feel proud of yourself? Do you? Do you think all these protests and this attitude and this demonic behavior is helping the situation? Do you really think it's helping? Trump says Walls and Frey are inciting insurrection. I tend to agree with that. And again, I don't agree with everything President Trump says and does. I don't. Has the whole ICE thing been probably too aggressive here, particularly in Minneapolis? Yeah. Yeah, it probably has. And I hate saying that. God, do I hate saying that. Because it's like letting the bad guys win right now. It really is. And like Suchere was saying yesterday, the people in this town have no respect for authority whatsoever. So it's like, yeah, you pretty much have to just, basically take a time out and come back with a different plan to how to, do this. How to do this with basically like not giving a time and when you're returning. Just kind of come and do it. Don't announce it. Just come and do it. And not be so ultra aggressive about it. Not a bad idea. I mean, some people look at that as like cutting and running and giving up and letting the bad guys win. Not the worst idea I've ever heard, honestly, at the end of the day. But yeah, his whole point is that the people in this town have been indoctrinated. That, it's, God, I hate that woman. Ilhan Omar. Big, long thing, not running her mouth again. I'll get to that some other time. But, I'll get to it shortly. I can't keep up with it. But, I try to make a point, then I see something and I lose it. Oh, man. Yeah, the point that I'm trying to get back to is that they've been indoctrinated to basically have no respect for authority. Like, you go to a workplace nowadays, people don't listen. They're just like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And if I call in, bleep you. Bleep you. I'm going to go out. I'm going to come in early, or I'm going to leave. I'm going to come in late, leave early. I'm going to take long breaks. I'm going to leave early for the break and come back late from the break because I can do whatever the bleep I want. And, you're going to put me on this? No, I'm not working there. I'm working over here. See, it's stuff like that. There is no respect for any form of authority in this place. It's just, it continues to get worse and worse and worse. And in fact, the Bible obviously talks about it that, people will have no respect for authority as we get closer and closer to the end here. And boy, oh boy, are we getting close to the end. Because nobody has respect for any authority, and especially in this town. It is an absolute disaster of a town. It's disappointing, like so disappointing that this kind of stuff is happening. It really is. Puts you out of lots of words at the end of the day, even though I could go on forever. Wish I could view the Facebook page, but I do still have the Instagram. I can't get to the Facebook page because my account's been hacked and I can't get to it. It's all the podcasts that I do are connected to the same account, which might have been a dumb mistake at the end of the day. Yep, I like this. So this could be kind of like a semi-interaction type of thing, like social media type of thing. It's freedom _of _thought 1776. This was back in. So this is the first one. This is actually the second show in 2026. The first one was kind of reflecting on 2025. Can't believe it's been 3 weeks since the last episode. I feel terrible about that, but then I've been working 6 days a week and all that. Nice to have a Saturday off here. There was a black man that appeared to be a cop. He looks like a cop, very fit looking guy. Says, George Floyd passed from an OD, not Officer Chauvin. Stop lying. And he said, that's all I have to say. And then the flex, and that was an awesome video. It's a video short. Nice to see that. Going back into early Jan. Then there's this new flag that just doesn't look like anything that represents the state of Minnesota at all, where the other one kind of did, and then they accuse it of racist. Oh, a Native American in a canoe. Oh, that's racist. Oh, my God. And somebody farming. Oh, it's so racist. Oh, I mean, good Lord. So what? North Dakota Fighting Sioux is racist. You got to take that down. And then the Washington Redskins was racist. See, the name might sound like it, but Redskin is I've been informed multiple times, it's the war paint. It's the war paint. It's red war paint that they wore. It's not about, oh, their skin's red. Oh, haha, wow, I'm a racist. Like, seriously, it's so dumb. That's what it was about. It was about war paint that they had. So, of course, they got to put that all blow that wall out of proportion and do what they did. Whatever. Like, Commanders isn't a bad name, but I don't know. It's just kind of sad. But yes, Minnesota, not my flag. Pass it on. Yep, this is not my flag. This fake new flag that they made. There's the Jacob Fry saying, he literally said the F word, get the F out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Jacob Fry. And that's somebody I supported electronically here on Freedom of Thought versus Omar Fateh. Yet, I don't know, at the end of the day, are we coming ahead? No. Omar Fateh would have been horrible and a disaster, but Jacob Fry is horrible and a disaster too. You can't win. They're all radical left activist types that are inciting this crap 10 times more than they'll ever admit. One that I think should be passed on to everybody, everywhere. Pass this on to maybe you have young relatives that are out there protesting. Pass this on to your young relatives or friends of them or whatever that are out there protesting, making idiots of themselves. Instead of being mad at ICE, it's an image of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Yeah, okay? Instead of being mad at ICE, be mad at these two morons for letting 20 million unvetted illegals into the country. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. When I saw that, I was like, heck yeah. So I had to get that one into the Freedom of Thought thread. Thankfully, again, the Facebook page is similar to the Instagram here. Another one, it's a sign that says, deliver us from liberal white women. Yep, because there's a lot of those psychotics out there. There's a blue state of Minnesota with the number 0 days without being a national embarrassment. Yep, we're still there. We're still at 0 days without being a national embarrassment. Yep, it's a nightmare. Minnesota's a nightmare. Now, it doesn't have to be the whole state, though. Hennepin and Ramsey County, yes, embarrassing. Parts of Minnesota are better. Bob Bierman will remind you that as well at times, because he talks about Minnesota quite a bit, even though he's in Virginia now. He grew up in, was it Manhattan or Long Island? I think it was more like a Manhattan area. Bob Bierman, Truth 2 Ponder, Truth the number 2 Ponder is the podcast. And obviously it's on short, it's also on short radio, and there's a website, Truth the number 2 Ponder. But yeah, he ends up talking about Minnesota a lot because a lot of this crap happens here. We're like the epicenter of political chaos, the epicenter of psychotic left-wing BS. It's disappointing. That's all you got to say there. It's like the state fair out there on the roads. You can't even drive. Just like, screw you, we're here in your way, and we're walking in the middle of the road, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's despicable. I can't stand it. Let people through. Let people through. You can protest till the cows come home. Let people through, and don't damage somebody's car. Don't damage somebody's car. Don't threaten a human being that doesn't really respond to your protest because they don't want to get involved. Leave them a frick alone at the end of the day. So, yes, Minneapolis, Minnesota, a national embarrassment. I hate it. Hate Minneapolis. I hate the leadership of Minneapolis. I think they all need to go. But unfortunately, the voters of Minneapolis are going to keep this crap coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. Because, well, it's like too late. It's like a house that was infested by cockroaches, and you just kept ignoring it and kept ignoring it and just kept letting them multiply and multiply and multiply. And then it's just to a point where there's like 50,000, cockroaches everywhere you step. There's nothing you can do. That's pretty much what's happened here politically in Minnesota. I don't mean to be comparing human beings to cockroaches, but I'm talking politically. Politically. It's just, it's similar that way, where you're just letting it grow and grow and grow, and there's nothing you can do. And that's pretty much what's happened in the Twin Cities when it comes to the, at least Hennepin and Ramsey County. Hennepin County is like Minneapolis, Ramsey County is St. Paul, and some of the other neighboring counties. It tends to bleed even further into those now, which is really sad and frustrating at the end of the day. It truly is. So I think I've got my point across for now, but I'd like to record more of these much more often. Almost could easily do this probably twice a week, 3 days a week, rather than like once every 3 weeks or something, once every 2 weeks, once a week. I mean, at least once a week I should be doing this more often, and I could even be doing the mobile episodes after work. That way, get something out there, conversate, keep up with the news. And this is news commentary here on Freedom of Thought. This is not, I am not a reporter. This is commentary. And yes, I am right of center, if you didn't notice, of course. So it is what it is. It's not even about being biased. I'm right of center. I'm right of center. Yeah, just like these people are left of center or insanely left of center, which is more accurate when you see Jacob Fry speaking on the Minneapolis shooting with Amy Klobuchar. Just imagine she might end up being a legitimate candidate to be governor now that Tim Walz has stepped down. We didn't even talk about that here, but you probably heard it about 50,000 times already. But yeah, Tim Walz will not be going for a third term. That's good, but unfortunately, you might get somebody worse. So I don't know what to tell you. I think Amy Klobuchar would just keep it worse and worse and worse. Oh, she's a moderate. Right. If Amy Klobuchar is a moderate, I got a bridge to sell you. Hillary Clinton, moderate. No, she's not moderate. Joe Biden was thought of to be a moderate. Was he a moderate? No. So that's where we are right now. With that said, pray. Keep praying. I need to pray more. I need to pray much more. I've been horrible. I've been pathetic. Thank God my church, they pray after the service all the time. Living Road Christian Center, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. If you happen to be interested in going to that church, yeah. Mac Hammond, Jim Hammond, of course. It's Mac's church, but Jim Hammond is becoming the senior pastor, but they still probably, they still preach about as much as the other. They do a great job there, of course. Spreading the word of God in a great series and such. But you get the point. I'm glad that they pray for this city, this state, this country, and really even the planet when it comes to things. But city and the state and the country, of course, Twin Cities and all that, you get the idea how it just gets darker and darker. And Jim Hammond was saying how you go to certain parts of certain towns and everything, and you feel maybe you can feel, God's presence maybe in some places. And then you come to Minneapolis and he said, it is dark, like very demonic. So, some people are sensitive to that, especially the closer and closer you get to the word, and all of that. So it's interesting, hearing him say that. And it's like, yeah, I kind of feel the same thing. It is dark. It's scary. Minneapolis is a scary place. It really is. I mean, it's not necessarily like a South Side Chicago with bullets flying and you literally duck. You literally have to duck like all the time. Like, that's scary, man. That's scary at the end of the day. But Minneapolis just kind of feels like it's heading that way, though. With that said, you get the idea. Just thank you so much for listening. Please put a 5-star rating for this show on whatever app you're using, like Apple Podcasts or whatever. Please put a 5-star rating for Freedom of Thought. Share the show with your friends, please. Somebody that would probably appreciate this show rather than trash it. Somebody that would appreciate this, that wants to hear someone on their side rather than just hearing the constant left-wing, bias, the constant left-wing, crashing and crapping all over conservatives every second, the constant ice bashing, it's somebody that wants a break from that garbage and would rather listen to this, somebody with somebody that might be a friendly voice. I'd like to believe that that's what Freedom of Thought can bring to you out there. With that said, so thank you so much for listening. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.